Hi guys, welcome to my channel Final Beauty, or welcome back. I'm Debbie if you don't know me. So for today's video we're going to be creating a blue and purple eye look using the Cosmic Brushes Delicious Delights palette. I've also got their highlighter palette as well, so we're going to be using the blue highlighter from that. Now I'm a big fan of Cosmic Brushes. They're a UK based indie brand with a fantastic formula. Really happy with the palettes I've got from them already. I've got all three of their previous ones. So I've got the Royal Rose, a lot more warm toned, pretty pinks and reds, and the odd pop of unusualness in there as well. I have their much hyped Serenity palette, such a unique colour story of greens and blues and purples that blew everybody away last summer. And I've got the Muse as well, which I think is probably my favourite so far. A lot more muted but grungy as well. I did a full looks video with this one. I was so inspired by it. I think it's beautiful. But of course today's video is going to be about this one, which is the Delicious Delights. Very like sweet in tone, very pastel, which isn't really my thing for makeup, but I love the formula, as I say, from Cosmic Brushes, so I'm really excited for it, because I know it will perform well if it's as good as the other three, and I've no reason to think it won't be. And I wanted to do a blue look today. What I think is so fantastic about this palette is you've got quite a bit of depth, like these dark purpley pink tones here are going to add some depth. So I want to do something that incorporates this bottom row, but also these two shades as well. And there is a multichrome in here. I'm not going to use that one today. Maybe do another look at some other point with that, but really wanted to do something blue, as I say, which is totally unlike me. So without further ado, we'll scooch you in and we'll get started. For this look today, I'm going to use the Juvia's Place Eye Primer. It's not been my favourite so far, but it is quite a pale colour primer, which will be useful for these kind of shades. It's just quite liquidy, but actually I think it's better now I'm sort of getting further down it. I don't think I shook it up enough, but a little goes a very long way with this primer as well. I'm used to more like solid primers, like the Sigma eyeshadow primer is probably my favourite, or the MAC soft ochre paint pot I like, so a bit more, as I say, of a firmer consistency, but this one's nice and bright, so should do a really good job. And I'm just stippling that in. I'm going out quite a way because I'm going to do a wing shape, so I want some primer there to put the wing into, because I'm going to do a wing with shadow today, I think. So how have you guys been? The last time I saw you was last Saturday, when we were going to be going to see Oppenheimer on the Sunday, which we did do, and we went to see it in the IMAX, but we lasted 5 minutes and both of us felt sick, and so we had to come out. I don't know if any of you have ever had that problem, but it's just like too much information to take in. We were perhaps too close to the screen, but we were about halfway back, but yeah, it's like a car sick feeling. It was weird, so we didn't make it, but we went into the 2D instead, and yeah, really good movie. I'm going to start with this blue shade here called Slushy, and I'm going to put that in my outer corner. I'm going to use the Singe Beauty EO4, and I'm just going to pack that out here in the outer corner, and I'm going to go pretty far up, pretty high, because I want to bring the wing through this colour. And the wing, I'm going to use the purple shade, so I'm always a little bit afraid of blue. I don't know if you guys are the same. Like if you get blue fallout, it's kind of game over, isn't it, with your look? You can't blend that into your cheeks so easily as you can with, like, I don't know, pinks or purples or oranges. So that's one reason why I find blue a bit of a challenge, but it is a pretty colour. I just don't do enough blue eyeshadow looks, so thought that's what we would do today. It's been an interesting week for new makeup releases. Don't know if you guys have caught all the controversy about the McGrath new mothership, the Sunlit Seduction, and obviously the fact that it's the same colour that they've brought out pretty much in loads of other palettes. As I said in my last video, I wasn't sure if I was going to pick it up unless I could get it in a sale, and then there was loads of links to pick it up for 30% off with a free gift worth £25, so I got it, but can't help but thinking it's some sort of marketing ploy that they're doing to try and get people to pick it up because it's not been as popular as they might hope. I'm just going to blend around the edges of that colour and make it a bit more of a softer wash in this outer part here. It's a nice tone of blue though, I'm not hating it. I love the way that the shadows blend from cosmic brushes. They're pigmented off the back, but they blend really easily as well, which is the perfect combination, quite honestly. So I picked that up, and then I had to get the Gourmand Girls Nightshade palette because it's just Debbie in a palette, really, isn't it? So that's purples and greens and yellows and just stunning, I think. So ordered that and that has shipped. So if it's here next week, I'll film with that next week. I don't think it will. In the inner part, I'm going to go with Ice Pop, this one here. So I'm probably about the last person to film with this palette. You've probably seen so many looks with it already. Don't know how interested you guys will be in it now, because I don't even think it's available at the moment because their palettes sell out so quickly, but I know it's not limited edition, this palette. Hopefully if you've got it, it'll give you a little bit of inspo, and if you don't, it will help you to decide if it's something that you might want to pick up. I enjoy watching videos of all sorts of palettes that I'm probably never intending to pick up, so it doesn't matter to me, but I don't know if you guys are the same. Like any new releases, I'll watch people's looks, and even if it's an older palette, if it's somebody that I really enjoy watching, I'm always interested in the inspo anyway. I mean, we're only talking about this came out a month ago, you know, but in makeup terms it's a dinosaur already, isn't it? Alright, I've got a little bit of shadow going onto my lower lash line, but I'm not too worried about it. It's literally so warm in this room. It's not even hot in the UK this summer. I mean, summer hasn't really happened for us in the UK. It's stayed about 20 degrees centigrade, but it always gets so warm up here. And there's somebody jet washing their drive, so if you can hear a noise, they've been doing it all weekend. It's quite annoying. I was waiting for that to stop, but it's just not happening, so I decided to carry on regardless. I want to bring this tone in, this one here, which is called Sweetie. It's almost got a bit of a lavender tone to it in person. Looks a bit brighter than that on camera. I'm just going to take that above the colours that I've already put down, just for extra little bit of interest here. Taking that about halfway, I think. I'm only going very sparingly with that. I just thought it might add a certain something. I think I'm going to go with the wing next. I can do the lower lash line, so I'm going to go in with the shade Charms, this deeper purple here, and a flat definer brush. This is one from Morphe. And coat up the brush, and I'm going to start out here in the lower lash line and then bring it out. And I don't want this wing to be like too high. I want it to come outwards rather than too far upwards. So I'm keeping it very close, as I say, to the lower lash. And it'll be a bit of a flat wing to start with, and then I can finesse it with a smaller brush, but just getting the shape down first of all. Keeping my eye open while I do it. It's going to cover some of that blue, but that's fine. Just stippling that on. Don't want to go too far onto the lid, so I'm keeping this kind of just out here in the outer corner and meeting up in the lower lash line area here as well. And just to make it a little bit sharper, I've got an eyeliner brush here, the Sigma E06. Just to give that just a bit of a tip. It's very difficult to do that with that flat definer. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that on the other eye quickly. This eye is always a bit more of a nuisance. Got more crinkles on this side, and it's not as easy to get the same effect because there's more folds there to try and make it look symmetrical. So the shape has to be slightly different to make it still look like it matches both sides. But it is still doable. Okay, something along those lines. I'm just going to intensify Charms now, just with a bit fatter of a brush I can colour in the lines now, make sure it's super pigmented, and also blend into that blue a little bit where it joins. I want to go in now with Jelly Bean and then with Milkshake. So Jelly Bean next to the lower lash line and then Milkshake like blending down further, just to really blend out this lower lash line. So with Jelly Bean I've got quite a fine brush here. I'm still taking that quite close to the lower lash line, but I'm not bringing it up where that wing is, so I just want to keep it just on the lower lash line and probably about 3/4 of the way across, so that we've still got room in the inner corner and a portion of the lower lash line for a shimmer there. And then going into Milkshake there, picking that further on the lower lash line, and this time I'm using a blending brush. I love the combination of those two together, that's super, super pretty. Gone a bit lower than I intended to, but I love a grunged out lower lash line, so don't have a problem with that. Now we've got a matte white in the palette, always makes me excited. We're going to use that to highlight the brow bone. See how bright of a shade it is. Oh yeah, that's really pigmented. Gosh, that's a good white. Can you guys see that? I'm normally really disappointed with whites in palettes because they never show up like as white as they should. The only one I've met that I really love is Sugar Pill Taco, but this one, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm excited with that. If you've not been here before, I use every bit of my eye space. Now I'm going in with NYX Glitter Primer and I'm going to apply that all the way across to where that blue is. I think these are performing really well actually over that Dubious Eye Primer, so I think the first time I used the primer I just think I put too much of it on, or I hadn't shaken it enough, because I'm quite enjoying it with these. But different primers work differently with different shadow formulas, I always think, as well, so it does tend to crease a little bit on me, but once we've got the shadow on it, it's fine. So for the shimmers we're mostly going to use this one, which is called Sugar Plum, but I'm also going to put Delicious, which has got like a bit of a blue flip in that white in the inner part here and onto my lower lash line. Sugar Plum looks to be a really beautiful shade. That's pretty because it's got some purple in it, so it's echoing some of the purples that we've got going on in the outer corner there. I'm layering it over that blue. It's really multi-dimensional, it's really pretty. Take that up fairly high so it's almost into my crease. That is a stunning shade. Where it meets my crease, I'm just turning the brush on its edge just to blend it in a little bit here so it's not too harsh. I think I'm going to go a little bit into Frosting and then into Delicious so that we've got a blend going across. I'm taking Frosting, just a little bit of Frosting here. Well, that's a good decision. Let's put another dimension to the lid there. Just layering that slightly over the Sugar Plum shade that we had there. Oh, I like this so far. It's a bit more of a purple look than a blue look now, but quite a lot of blue in the crease, and I think the crease colour always dictates a look and what the focus of it is more so. Into Delicious now, just going to take that in that very, very inner part. And that's more blue again, so that's interesting. We've sort of got a blue to lilac and then back to blue kind of shift going on. And I'm going to take that one and just wrap it around my tear duct and onto the lower lash line. I'm tempted just to bring a little bit of white into the inner corner, so I'm going to use that whipped cream just to further brighten things up just a tad, just in this inner corner. So I'm going to finish off the look off camera, but I think we'll do highlight first. So I've got the Frosting highlighter palette, also by Cosmic Brushes. Beautiful shades in here. You're probably not going to be able to see the shifts, but we've got a green one, a pink one, and we've got a blue one, sort of blue to purple. So that's what we're going to use, is this one here. I'm just going to take that on the tippy tops of my cheeks. I've got, the blush I'm using is Lovestruck by Pat McGrath, and I'm layering it kind of over that as well. So we've got a bluey purple kind of hue to that pink blush that we've got going on. It looks really pretty. It's a smooth formula, but has got some sparkle to it as well coming through. You can probably see it more so on that side. Okay, as I say, just going to finish the look up off camera. So something in my waterline, mascara and a lip, and I'll be back with you with the finished look. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. Really love how it turned out. It's striking, it is blue, but with the addition of the purple and the wing, it's a Debbie kind of look still. And this is the way I like to wear blue. I can't really do a totally blue look, it's just not me, but yeah, quite like this. In my waterline, I've gone in with Prance from Colourpop, and I've just used my Hourglass Caution mascara. And then for lips, I've gone swanky. I've got a Pat McGrath one. It's a MatteTrance lipstick in the shade Omi. And I like it because it's like that mauvey pink. It's not overtaking the look too much. Sometimes I go for like a deep purple with like a look like this, but I thought I'd let the eyes do the talking today. And I think it matches it really nicely. So this palette then, well, I think it's so, so beautiful. It's really pretty. It's pastel, but there's a lot you can do with it. I mean, I'm looking forward to dipping into gingerbread, for example, and using it with that multi-chrome and maybe the greeny yellows with it, or even the pinky tones, this sort of area of the palette. That grungy sort of buttercreamy yellowy colour. There's some unusual tones in here, and it's just really, really pretty. But what I love most about these palettes, I love the fact they're all the same shape and size, and that they're in cardboard packaging. And I love that they're just so reliable formula wise. Like every one of them I've tried has got the same sort of formula. The shimmers are really sparkly and impactful, but they're easy to apply. And the mattes just blend themselves, quite honestly, but they're pigmented off the bat as well without too much fallout. Fantastic formula for this price or any price. I mean, I think this was £25. It's not expensive at all. You've got, what have you got, 20 shades. And more mattes and shimmers, which is always something that I prefer. And the packaging's always super cute as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed playing with this one. And I'll say, might have to do something a bit more when it gets to fall time with that gingerbread and the sprinkle shade, you know, do something a little bit more orangey and warm toned. But yeah, really enjoyed playing with this. So I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope it's still relevant and that you've enjoyed it, even though, as I say, the palette came out quite a while ago. It's not new by any means now, but I still enjoyed playing with it. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you're new to my channel, I hope you might consider subscribing before you go. But other than that, guys, hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye guys.